Hello everyone, my name is Jason, this is
Monty.
And today we're doing Bible chat on Jude chapter 1 verse number 6. And I'm going to read it first in the King James Version. And it says, "And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under the darkness, unto the judgment of that great day." Now I'm going to read it just in case you didn't get it. In the English Standard Version, I think this really gets it down to where we need it. And it says, "And the angels who did not stay within their own position of authority, but left that proper dwelling, he is kept in eternal change under gloomy darkness until the judgment of that great day." What do you think about that verse?
Right, that verse I find very interesting. And actually something that someone I hold in very high esteem said what this verse meant to him. And I that stood out to me, and it's meant the same for me since then. He points out that the chains under darkness under judgment of the great day. So these chains are the angels that have fallen from heaven. The devil, Satan himself, will be chained under darkness forever. So I find this encouraging myself. Now, of course, if you read around this scripture, you'll find out that this is true for those who have not properly went through the plan of salvation that God laid out for us.
I have that in mind, yeah.
Yes. But it's encouraging to us who know that we are saved, us as Christians who will be living in eternal joy. At the same time, we know that the same spirits that have tormented us, who have tried to hold us back from our promise, those are the spirits that are going to be bound under chains for the rest of their life.
Well, a little bit of context, just in case you haven't quite got it yet, and I think that's the most important part of Bible chat, of course. And the book was wrote by Jude, and if you don't know, that's the brother of James the Just. Now, he's mentioned in Matthew as one of the brothers of Jesus Christ. It's very interesting.
And he's his half-brother.
Yes, and this book was wrote to remind Christians of the early church that they needed to hold on to their faith. They needed to hold on to everything that had been taught by Paul and by Peter and by all the other apostles of that day. That because during that time they're, of course, under so much persecution that it's really, really sickens me today to see most Christians who go on blogs and forums and YouTube and talk about how they're so persecuted today. Trust me, you do not know persecution unless you live in this day. So, just mini rant. I'll get off that. Now, historians believe that. Now, historians do believe this book is canonical, which means that it is part of the Bible and it was not just added in by the Catholic Church, as many people have said. But here's where it confuses a lot of people, and it makes mention of the Book of Enoch. Now, if you don't know what the Book of Enoch is, we did a J&M talk about it, and that is linked in the description down below. We don't have time to get into it. So that's all interesting. So it is canonical, even though it does mention that, and we're not going to get into our stance on that. But when reading around it, in my Bible it had related verses, and usually to get the meaning of Scripture, and we don't really have a good understanding of what it might mean, we look at related verses to compare spiritual things with spiritual things. And this is the two verses that it had. 1 Peter 2 and 4, still in the English Standard Version, it says, "For if God did not spare angels when they sinned, but cast them into hell and committed them to chains of gloomy darkness to be kept until judgment." Second one was Revelation 20 and 2. This is what really got it for me. "And he seized the dragon, that ancient serpent, who is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years in the pit." Now, I think, and I think this might differ from yours, but in my interpretation, I think that this Jude 1:6 means that on the last day, that these angels who were in cahoots with Satan whenever he got kicked out of heaven, I believe they are too going to be damned to eternal damnation. That's what I believe that this scripture is meaning. Now, of course, something else I wanted to mention, and I don't think we've made this clear on Bible Chat yet, is that there's a wonderful, wonderful verse in 1 Peter, I think. Never mind. But it says that there is no scripture given to private interpretation, which means there is no certain scripture that is just meant for me and him to just tell you what it means. And that's the great thing about scripture, is that it is just so open. And I think that's all for Bible Chat today, unless you have anything else to add.
No.
So a few announcements. We have Chronicles of Truth we're going to be doing on interesting story in the Bible that I think gets glossed over a lot, and I think you're going to really enjoy it. Also, Friday, I think I posted a blog post, and I really, really like it. I wrote it, and I'm really proud of it, and I don't think I want to spoil what it's about. You guys
I will be writing a blog post very soon. I'm doing research.
Wow,
I haven't even
awesome.
told you that yet.
Yeah, no,
that's
I
good.
just found out. That's awesome. We're looking forward to it. So, yeah, go and read that, and try to blow up the comment section. Oh, by the way, your prayers are appreciated. One of the team members, Danielle, to be more specific, got into an ATV accident and bruised up her leg pretty bad. And so just keep your prayers coming this way. So appreciate it. And with all that said and done, my name is Jason. He is
Monty.
signing off.